Hello everybody and welcome back to Imperator, where we are currently working on still building some roads over here. I'm also noticing that there are, like, revolts ongoing over here. And potentially Shunga reconquering some of this stuff. Or no, these guys are rebelling against Shunga, aren't they? Well, there's some awkwardness going on over here regardless. We're building roads over here, and we're kind of close to getting those done. That'll happen eventually. I do want to check in on farming settlements. We can actually build one, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then we can look at slave estates after that. We're back to being maxed on our research efficiency, so these libraries don't really matter for the time being. I just want to make sure we're going to remain maxed on that. And then we can continue to work on our manpower situation, which would be good to do. Situations like this are mildly awkward. Indeed. For the time being, locations like that probably aren't going to be worked on heavily, but perhaps somewhere up over, like, this city. This city is an interesting option. For sure. But I want to check in on slave estates first. Are there any? No, there are not. So we could work on this city, perhaps. We could ditch the mill here, as well as the ports. And then start putting in forums. So for now, we'll just put in the forum. And once our legion finishes up its road construction over here, which won't take all that much longer, it'll certainly be done by the end of this episode, then we can start to think about going after some of these guys. When is our truce with Kantala up? Just a couple of months. They're still allied with Shunga. So that is noted. The question needs to be asked, though, how much do we care about Shunga now? Are they still considered a threat to us? And the answer to that is likely no. We can likely take over Kantala. Siege here, attack here. We can likely take over Kantala very quickly, which will finish up multiple missions here. We also need to get our population in our capital up, and war is the best way to do that. That'll import slaves into our capital, which would be good. We need 12 pops there. We need an oratory researcher, and we'll just get the most qualified guy. Beautiful. How far ahead of time are we on tech right now? 69 years. Nice. Okay. So we're going to continue to make our way through these road builds, but a lot of this is backtracking and is not going to take long. So that should be fine. We know that our slave estates are good to go, and we know that this city here, we wanted to get rid of this mill and put in a forum. There we go. So that'll be fine. We are maxed on our research efficiency, which is good. We did not have these quite at even levels, did we? Correct. So I would like to see this go up to 94. That would be ideal, because that way we'd be able to get one more unit of heavy infantry and one more unit of archers in this army here, as well as adding in an extra supply train for the extra food storage. That would be amazing. Do we take stability here? We do. We do take stability here, because we're quite high on our aggressive expansion still, and we should let that come on down for a bit. We're going to need aggressive expansion to go after these guys, right? So that's definitely going to take some time. We're working on building our manpower backup. 501 each month now. That's really solid. I want to come down over here and ditch a port for our third forum. There we go. And we'll ditch another port here for our training camp. And our last port for our second training camp. There we go. So this is all about generating manpower, right? The target for right now is 1,000 manpower per month. We're at about half of that. So we're going to need to put a decent amount of development into it. This city is another interesting option for that. It definitely is. We'll keep an eye on that, perhaps after we're done with these roads. We just finished up that farming settlement. Cool. 6 stability for 10 political influence. We are a bit low on our political influence right now, so I think we'll pass on that option for the moment. Okay. We also know that we're going to be getting, let's see here, in our civic advances, we're going to get taxes and slave output here. Citizen output, citizen output. So we have most of the freeman output. We can grab curb the tax collectors, for sure. That's tribesman output, build cost, build roads cost, global settlement building cost, and like these are actually very good. Everything going up to them is kind of mediocre though. So that's a little bit awkward. We do need a new civic researcher, and we have a scorned family. This guy's actually the same skill level as this guy, so that sounds good. Consider it done. No scorned family, so that's great. And our aggressive expansion is continuing to drop. Shunga's at war with the Seleucid Empire. Fascinating. How close are we to being done with this road build? We've got a little ways to go here. We're just building this area. Do we think we need this unit? As a hypothetical, Shunga would join. Okay. So it would be something like this. Let's go ahead and move these units into position. We're just kind of leaving these guys to do their thing. They can join us later. 207 gold. Local import routes for 400 gold. I don't know how useful that really is. Getting the Dravidian loyalty is probably better. We have to spend gold any way we slice it there, and I don't want to go into debt. Not with us planning on going to war with Kantala here. So we can call down an Omen, and we definitely don't need the Paradigm of Culture. I can tell you that right now. We do not require the research points. So we can go instead for State Religion Happiness, for National Commerce Income, or for Discipline. And I think Discipline, since we're planning on going to war imminently. So we'll go ahead and do that. We hope that these guys don't get wiped out by Shunga, but we're assuming that they're going to be a little bit busy dealing with the Seleucid Empire for right now. That's the assumption, anyway. Hopefully, that assumption turns out to be true. So, we're going to look to eliminate Kuntala very, very swiftly here. We're declaring war with... Honestly, this should probably be our war goal, right? This state here. There is a fort here. So this state does make the most sense. Okay. So we declare war with this being the war goal. Shunga would join. We don't actually care about that. So, we're going to walk in here. We're going to walk in here. We are going to raise up this levy force from Karnata, with their goal being to come down to here. Okay. So something along the lines of this. We're going to need to turn up our army maintenance, and I'll leave our fort maintenance at medium here. Cool. So we're going to immediately take out this Kuntalan force. There should be no problem with that. And we're going to get these sieges underway. These guys are going to head out over here. That's fine for the moment. We could hire some mercs to deal with them, actually. How many forces do they have? 6K? That 9k stack would probably be okay, but they're going to need to get their morale regenerated, so I feel like these guys are actually the better way to go. We'll go ahead and hire them. They can go on defense up over here and deal with any Shungan forces that end up coming in as well. If they can make their way around, I suppose. They'll be kind of awkwardly located for that, but it'll be fine. So they're regenerating their morale. They're only generating like 6% per month, but whatever. It'll take them a little bit of time to make their way northward. Cool. And Shunga did indeed join this. Okay, we're losing money right now. That is a problem. I'm going to take us down to here on the army maintenance. There we go. Okay, this is already up to 21%. We haven't even started this siege just yet. 3 stability sounds good here. Okay, this siege has now begun. Okay, we won this siege. That is magnificent. So we're going to walk in and take this location. Our Merc force is making its way up. It's probably enough morale at this point. Our side might lose. We're just going to wait here and let them walk in, and we'll see what they decide to do. Okay, when would we arrive here? 14 May? That would be after the tick. And they're running away. So it looks like that is exactly what we want. Go ahead and lose loyalty. That's fine. You have 83. Not concerned about that. So, these guys can move to pincer this force. And it looks like that's under control. This morale is terrible. We had, like, no morale to start with. We're going to retreat. And we're going to head in over here. These sieges are still underway. We knew that our mercs had no morale, right? We're just on our way over this way, looking to pincer these guys. There are no Shungan forces on their way just yet. We're continuing to road build over here. Oh yeah, this is solidly under control. Beautiful. So we win this siege, and we can now replace these guys with levy troops who will siege slightly faster. There we go. So we win that battle. Unfortunately, we didn't stack wipe them, but we can make our way up over this direction. And these forces are going to start moving up into this little Shungan territory here. There's a little bit of Shungan territory over here as well, which is where these guys could go. We have Untiring Devotion here, gaining 3 stability. I like it. Cool. So our roads are going to be done being built eventually. I don't know where these guys are going, but whatever. We're going to send these mercs up over to here. And we're going to send this army over to here. Cool. I then want to grab our levy forces and send them up over this way. We're just going on the offense here. Our legion is taking over this siege because they have the siege engineers. We're at 21%, and actually it fell. So that should do the trick. We're going to move these guys northward as well. And all of this gets capped, putting us at 18% war score. Okay, that's not a lot, but we do control the war goal at this point. The question is, if we were to sue for peace and take all of this, how much AE would that be? 16. And they wouldn't currently accept this. So we'll have to wait on that, but that's okay. Shunga is still at war with the Seleucid Empire, and that is the reason we chose this timing. So we're just going to head northward and get this all done. This road work will be done fairly soon as well, so that looks pretty good. But we do need to get Shunga out of this. Kuntala's down to low war enthusiasm now. Ticking war score is absolutely in our favor. These guys are actually still active, and we should deal with them, so I'm going to have this Legion do that. Minister of Excellence, huh? Cool, we'll take 10% national tax. I like it. So we'll keep an eye on what these guys are intending to do. Shunga is not currently doing anything that will be, you know, in any way useful. So that's okay. These guys are, like, coming down here to siege. I don't know about that. I feel like they shouldn't. Okay, gout, sure. 6 stability for 18 gold. Do it. Cool. So we finish up here, and we're going to continue to push in this direction. Our mercs are still making their way up over this direction, into proper Shungan territory. Shunga is definitely focusing on the Seleucids, but they're in this area, so we're going to need to keep an eye on that. These guys are still chilling down here. Sure. Okay, so we're going to get this state capped. There we go. And we'll head over to here. These guys, I feel like, I want them to be in this area, but somewhere where they're not really going to be consuming their supplies. Somewhere where they can resupply, like here. Beautiful. So that'll do. We're gaining 475, so that's not bad. The question at this point... We take all of this. They would not currently accept that. What if we were to take some of this over here, too? Like this little exclave of Shunga. That's a theoretical possibility. We'll keep an eye on that. 41 is our supply weight, so we would like to find a place where these guys can sit. And then our mercs are going to be attacking up here. Cool. We're still building our roads, but we're incredibly close to being done with that. Okay. So supply limit is not amazing over here, right? I feel like at this point we can just straight up back off to like over here. And this should be reasonably fine. Are we mostly just waiting on the ticking war score at this point? Like, is that our plan? Well, I want to see... sure, this is fine. I want to see what this will take. 29 reasons, 28 reasons to not accept this. Months at war is among that, 22 reasons. War balance -2. And, of course, a war score. So that's going to go up fairly quickly. That's going to be quite quick indeed. Our religious advances, we have a scorned family here, but we don't have anyone in this top screen that's capable of filling that role. So we're going to have to put someone else in there, and we'll have to deal with that scorned family later. Okay, so for the time being, this seems fine. We're only attacking with our mercs, so they're the only ones risking manpower loss. I think for the moment, we may want to drill these guys, since we don't see any Shungan forces. How much AE was this going to be? 27? That's risky. That does put us over 50. Only just over 50. And Shunga just declared peace with the Seleucid Empire, meaning that this is no longer an exclave. That means Shunga's on their way. So, we probably need to not take some of this territory over here. They still wouldn't accept that. Okay. Well, they're probably on their way, but they're also probably damaged. So these guys are finishing up their last segment of road right now, right? And we're going to let them finish that. And then they're going to walk over to here and group up there. This merc force is... Okay, these guys... let's not be too hasty. Okay. So we've got ticking war score. We're going to get some war score from this occupation here. And we're just going to walk in with our mercs for the moment. Aggressive expansion is going to be our major limiting factor here with what we can take. I think that's very clear. Obviously, fully annexing Kuntala is 100% going to be our goal here. I forgot about these guys. Luckily, they've done literally nothing. So we're just going to make our way up here and see if we catch them. The answer is a hard maybe. They keep resetting their movement. And yeah, we do catch them. Cool. So no Shungan forces yet. We can occupy here and take this whole state over. They would now accept if we were not taking Kuntala and taking this. 16 reasons for this peace deal, which I think is a reasonable peace deal to go for. The major problem is that AE. That said, it's only Shunga and the Magadan Empire that we really care about over here. So I feel like that's fine. Let's go ahead and take this with our mercs. Beautiful. And then this whole state will auto-cap. Eventually. There we go. These two will auto-cap eventually as well. So we find ourselves at 46. Shunga has not shown up still. They would now accept this peace deal. This is going to put us above 50 by a relatively significant margin. What headroom do we have? 24.2 something. We'll call it 24.2. So that's how much headroom we have. We would currently gain 27. So what if we were to not take this state? That would put us at 21. Just below that 50 marker. I like it. We still get a little bit of territory away from Shunga. We get Kuntala fully annexed. And we do not go above 50 AE. I think it's good. We are blessed indeed. We got the Rock of Ages. Cool. And we're going to lose half a point of AE here. Excellent. Much, much better. So we're now going to disband these mercs. We're going to drop our levies. There we go. And these guys can be merged together. And for the moment, they are going to be drilling. We can, of course, complete our Dravidian Dominance mission. That is now complete. Gaining us 5 stability, 10 popularity, and for the Cholan culture, 10% culture happiness and 5% citizen output. Nice. So Southern Consolidation will require Karnata being owned by us. Ah, that requires this. Right, that's a decision that we can do. So, let's see. Available decisions. Where are we? We need 30 political influence. We have 30 political influence. I don't know why this is saying we don't. Maybe we need to let the month tick go forward because we're at 127. It says we need 30. Now we're at 129. Has greater or equal to 50 territories. Has equal to 30 political influence. Wait, we need exactly 30 influence? This should be greater or equal. Why would we need exactly 30 political influence? That's insane. Okay. That's wild. I feel like that's not how that's intended to work. We could probably do that with the console and then make sure that we get to the correct number of political influence so that this would be, or rather the decision would be just costing us 30 political influence, right? So we would have 130 at the end. Or not 130. We would have 100 at the end. It's very strange to me that this apparently requires... where was that? Here. Has equal to 30.00 political influence. Yeah, I feel like we have to do that with the console to make that actually happen. This has to be an oversight, right? This has to be intended to be greater or equal. Okay. Well, for Imperator, I believe I need to restart the game in debug mode in order to do the console. So that would be exciting. Let's go ahead and make a save here, and I'm going to pause the recording, and I guess we'll be back in debug mode and see if we can make that happen. I really feel like that's intended to be greater or equal. So I feel no problem with doing this in the debug mode. So the game is saved. I'm going to be right back in the debug mode. Okay, so here we are in debug mode, and we have this save here, and I'm not going to mess with this save. We'll make a new save, and this is going to be the modified, so that if we mess anything up, we can go back to this save. So we'll go ahead and save that. Fantastic. And now all we're going to do here is we're going to change our political influence. What would this be? Just influence, maybe? Let's give that a go. Influence like minus 100. Sometimes it's implemented differently. Let's see if this is correct in Imperator. Okay, that's not the correct command. Maybe PI? No. Political underscore influence minus 100. Yeah, okay. So we now know that this is at 30, but we don't know what the actual decimal here is. That may or may not be enough to get this done. So we want to go into our decisions. Okay. We need to have exactly 30. So we want to do this again, but minus 31. Putting us at -0. Okay, so that means that we definitely have a decimal here. And we don't know what this is. So, we know that it can be between 0 and 500. Does that mean we need to let it tick here? Hang on. Let's do this again. Yeah, that's definitely negative there. Okay. So let's go ahead and add in... Let's see if there's a cap up at the top. There is. There's a cap at the top, but not at the bottom. So we now know that we're at exactly 500. So now we can do political influence minus 470, and that puts us at exactly 30, which allows us to subjugate the Maldives. It has to be exactly 30. That definitely has to be an oversight, right? That has to be a bug. So we go ahead and do this and enact that. Okay. So with that decision enacted, that's going to set that in motion. Now, we know that we need to have 100 political influence, and there was a decimal amount there that we're going to lose. I'm not going to worry about that. We're just going to put in 100 for the correct amount of political influence, and then we're going to save this as the modified save, and confirm that, and we'll restart the game again in not debug mode. See you in a bit. Okay, so here we are with the game just started up in non-debug mode. We're at 100 political influence, nothing else was changed, and we enacted the decision to do this. Let's tick forward and see if that happens on like the month tick or what actually ends up happening here. Let's just take it a month tick and see what happens. Okay. This decision may take some time to put into effect. I'm not sure exactly how this decision works. The fact that you apparently need exactly 30 political influence to take that decision is mind-boggling. That has to be a bug. Has to be. At any rate, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to see about that southern consolidation. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, Mlohan80, Kintogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Rogue Corvid, Anna the Elephant, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.